Here comes the national news from Babagagede Ibom television. First, the headlines. Biden appoints 2 Nigerian Americans as advisors. Chicago academic record. Atiku plans fresh suit against Tinubu. Labour faults FG's meeting, insists on indefinite strike. Marketers urge FG to address rising gas prices. And on sports, Osima shames critics, calls for Napoli against Udinese. I am Morire Rabila Lawal, the news in detail. The U.S. President Joe Biden has approved 2 Nigerian Americans as advisors. The appointees Osage Imasogi and Chine Ogumike are part of the 12 members of the President Advisory Council on African Diaspora Engagement in the United States. Congratulating the Joe on the appointment, the chairperson of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NICOM, Abike Dabiru Erewa, said their recognition and appointment into the 12-member Advisory Council is a motivation for other Nigerians and Africans in general. The nomination of the 2 great Nigerians into the Advisory Council is a welcome development, she said on Wednesday in a statement by the Commission spokesman Abdul Rahman Balogun. Chinaye is a 2-time WNBA All-Star for the Los Angeles Sparks and a full-time multi-platform ESPN commentator and NBA analyst. She is one of the full-time professional athletes to also currently hold a full-time regular national sports media broadcast position. Ogumike was a 2014 WNBA Rookie of the Year and is a 2-time WNBA All-Star 2014 and 2018. She is proudly Nigerian American and graduated from Stanford University with an international relations degree under the mentorship of Dr. Kadulozina Raz. In August 2020, she became the first black woman to host a national daily sport talk radio show. The 2021 Forbes 30 Under 30 honoree also holds the title of executive producer, producing the ESPN Films documentary 144 on the 2020 WNBA season. Osage Imasogi, on the other hand, is the chairman of the investment bank and SEC/FINRA registered broker-dealer Queen Capital and Queen Advisors. In addition, Imasogi is a co-founder of PIPP Capital, a private equity firm that is focused on the life sciences vertical and has invested over $1 billion into that industry. Prior to co-founding the PIPV Capital, he established GlaxoSmithKline Ventures and was its founding vice president. The legal team of the People's Democratic Party, PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, is planning to file a motion to challenge President Bola Tinubu's plea for Chicago State University not to release privileged documents in his academic records. The special advisor to Atiku on public communications, Frank Schreiber, disclosing these that the legal team had up to 48 hours to respond to the motion in the U.S. court. Atiku had earlier secured an order for CSU to make the president's academic records available to his legal team. A magistrate, Jeffrey Gilbert, had last week ordered Tinubu's alma mater to provide all relevant and non-privileged documents to the applicant within 2 days. Atiku is currently challenging the victory of the former Lagos State governor at the 2023 presidential poll and his client and recent affirmation by an election petition court in Nigeria. The documents sought by the PDP candidate through his counsel, Angela Leo, include the record of admission and acceptance at the university, dates of attendance including degrees, awards and honors attained by the former Lagos State's governor at the university, among others. But as the deadline given by Gilbert drew nearer, on Thursday, Tinubu's lawyer approached Maldonado, arguing that the earlier decision by Gilbert needed to be reviewed by a district judge. The request for a review and delay of the order till Monday was eventually granted by the U.S. District Judge. Tinubu's application, filed by his lawyer Oluwole Afolabi and Christopher Michael, advanced 2 reasons. First was that his academic records in issue are not useful in Nigerian courts as claimed by Atiku, because the Nigerian election proceedings and the Nigerian court have explicitly been unreceptive to the discovery. And to the national issue concerning industrial action. The National Deputy President of the Trade Union Congress, Tomi Etienne, said nothing would stop the strike, nothing that Nigerian workers were disenchanted by the federal government. He stated that the unions had given the government sufficient time to address their demands, stressing that the workers would not allow themselves to be deceived any longer. Etienne said on Wednesday that any fresh meeting was pointless and asked Nigerians to brace for the long-drawn walkout. The government had been given more than enough time to meet our demands, but they did nothing. The strike has been fixed, nothing will stop it, and if they, FG, like, they can go to court as usual. The only thing that can stop the strike is if they meet all our demands, he tweeted. Asked what Nigerians should expect during the industrial action, the Labour leader added, it will not just be a total shutdown of the nation, it is going to be the mother of all strikes. Do you know that they are even planning to sack 17,000 workers in this period when Nigerians are suffering great hardships? Also, a top officials of the NLC, while speaking on the proposed strike, said the issues are straightforward. NLC's joint communique was very clear. NLC has declared an indefinite nationwide strike which is to begin on October 3, 2023, and nothing will make us not to start unless the government does everything we have said they should do. Asked if the unions would shelve their plan if invited to a meeting by the FG, the union leader noted, no meeting or promise that would make us stop. The only thing that would make us stop is the fulfillment of all those demands, nothing else. Meanwhile, Nigerians may have to brace for fuel scarcity and nationwide blackout from Tuesday, as the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers and the National Union of Electricity Employees are vowed to join the indefinite strike declared by the NLC and TUC. Also, the health workers said that they would not be available to attend to patients at the hospitals, while the judiciary staff disclosed that the court would be shut down nationwide. Senior officials of Nupeng and NOE told correspondents on Wednesday that the unions would ground petrol and electricity supply once the strike begins. Moving on to the next story. The Nigerian Association of Liquefied Petroleum Gas Marketers has called on the federal government to find ways to ensure stability of gas prices and make it available to the common Nigerians. The NAGPAM National President Abidin Olatubosun made this call during the 36th Annual General Meeting Conference of the Association, with the theme Expanding Gas Utilization Beyond Imagination in Ibadan, Oyo State on Tuesday. He explained that if nothing was done to increase in the price, gas would soon be a commodity for the few rich. Olatubosun said, it is very vital for me to say that the galloping hike in the price of gas in recent times stands as a big challenge to LPG marketers. The government needs to find ways to ensure the stability of gas price, as well as make gas available to the common Nigerians. If nothing is done, the increase in price gas will soon become a commodity for the few rich in the country. As a country, we need to improve on our gas utilization level. If we adopt gas, it will save our forests, improve quality of our lifestyle, and the economy will grow. The hike in price of gas is a concern to all. To the next story. Pan-Yoruba socio-political organization Afenifere has lashed out at former President Olusegun Obasanjo for disrespecting traditional rulers in Oyo State by ordering them to stand up and sit down at a public function. Obasanjo some weeks ago asked monarchs who attended a road inauguration in Iseyin, Oyo State, to stand up and sit down when he and Governor Makinde entered the venue of the events. But in a communique issued at the end of its meeting in Akwa, Ondo State on Wednesday, Afenifere condemned Obasanjo's conduct and demanded that the ex-president apologizes to the monarchs. The communique was read by the publicity secretary of the association, Mr. Jare Ajayi, at the Akwa residence of Afenifere leader, Ken Ruben Fasoroti. We Yoruba respect our traditional rulers, the arrowhead of which is our traditional rulers, who traditionally and spiritually have acquired the status of deities. It is not surprising that they are referred to as Igbakeji Orisha, second in command to the gods. In view of the attempt to ridicule the respected Oba's institution in Yoruba land, Afenifere hereby demands an unreserved public apology to Obas from former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Our tradition describes who we are. As such, no effort must be spared to prevent the rubbishing of our noble tradition. In that wise, it hereby recommended that real fathers are spared the trouble to stand up at public functions at Upton in the United Kingdom, among others. On insecurity and banditry, the Afenifere called on the federal government and security agencies in the country to be more decisive and more proactive. Moving on the national news within Ogun. One person has been reported dead while 14 others were injured in a road crash involving two vehicles on Lagos Bridge by Organ Guard area of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway in the early hours of Tuesday, according to an eyewitness who spoke with correspondent on ground on condition of anonymity. The crash occurred when a tire of the Volkswagen minibus conveying passengers pulled out, forcing it to collide with a Toyota Camry car. Information gathered that the Volkswagen bus with registration number NSL264YD was coming from the Mowe axis of Ogun State, heading towards Bega area of Lagos State before the tire pulled out while the vehicle was in motion, leading to a collision with another vehicle with registration number SMK191FK. When contacted, the public relations officer of the Ogun State Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Florence Okwe, confirmed the incident. She said, "I am confirming the incident, which occurred at about 06:50 hours on Tuesday. Two vehicles were involved. A Volkswagen minibus with registration number, as mentioned earlier, with the Toyota Camry with registration number mentioned earlier. The cause of the accident was that a tire of a Volkswagen pulled out while in motion and collided with a Toyota Camry car, which resulted in the death of one person while 14 people were injured. A total of 16 people were involved." And to a tragic incident at Ambrose Ali University. A graduate of Ambrose Ali University, Akwa, Edo State, identified as Precious Obede, has attempted suicide over the legs to the university's refusal to issue him and several other students their results after they graduated from schools in 2018. Correspondent learned that Obede, whose parents claimed he had been battling depression due to his inability to be issued his results after spending 5 years in school, started to stab himself with pieces of bottle he had broken. Some aggrieved students of the school had lamented the inability to receive their degree results after spending 5 years undergoing the program, claiming that the situation had demoralized them. According to them, they are facing a bleak future as a result of the development. In learned information from the aggrieved student that the Attahiru institution had been promising them that the backlog of results would be cleared and students who were yet to be mobilized for the National Youth Service Corps scheme will be settled. However, a source who was privy to Monday's incident told correspondent that Obade became frustrated and decided to end his life over the matter. The source, who craved anonymity, said, "I received a call at about 3:30 p.m. on Monday that Obade had been rushed to the hospital. I was told he had been showing signs of depression and that they had tried to help him in every possible way they could." Lastly, on the national news is a sports story. Napoli striker Victor Osimhen scored the second goal in Serie A encounter against Udinese on Wednesday night, despite the ongoing saga and sour relationship with the club in the past few days. The Nigerian ended his 4-game wait for a goal but refused to celebrate the goal after he added to Napoli's lead. Recall, the 24-year-old striker has been the center of attention after videos posted on the official Napoli TikTok mocked him for his penalty miss against Bologna and compared him to a coconut. Osimhen had the chance to put Napoli ahead against Udinese after they were awarded the penalty, but he passed the ball over to Petr Zelensky, allowing the Pole to net the opener. The Nigerian striker's kindness was rewarded later in the match when he comfortably disparaged the penalty second of the ninth. In his celebration, Osimhen ran over to Napoli bench and hugged new signing Jesper Lindstrom, ignoring coach Rudi Garcia. With the sports story, we've come to the end of today's national news. Before we go, some headlines. Biden appoints 2 Nigerian Americans as advisors. Chicago academic record, Atiku plans first suit against Tinubu. Labour faults FG's meeting, insists on indefinite strike. Marketers urge FG to address rising gas prices. Afenifere accuses Obasanjo of ridiculing Obas, demands apology. On sport, Osimhen shames critics, scores for Napoli against Udinese. For updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Baba Bagede Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For other placement of computing services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawan. Good afternoon.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.